Okay, so we are just going to walk through the creation and partial completion of a project. It could be done exactly the same for a KPI, but we're just going to do a project. Okay, so first thing I do is I hit add initiative because these are the initiatives we're dealing with here. And it's for Arena Success Group. I'm going to change it from a um, initiative type from a KPI to a project. It doesn't have, well, no, for good, it's good that a project support a KPI, and this one, our primary KPI is to add active users, so we're going to put that in there. It does not have a meeting right now, and we're going to call this, I've always wanted to work with direct service providers, so we're going to call it their organization uh, or member services. I want to create a member service for direct service providers or people that help or organizations that help people with developmental disabilities. Okay, now this is where we rate how important it is to the organization. Well, since it's a sub of the most important one, I'm going to make it a 4 instead of a 5. The most important one's 5. Okay, and if I put it as backlog, it's going to go in as an idea type of a thing, which is good, but it won't show up. It's not nearly as usable as when I make the status begun. And again, when you're filling these out, you can just hover over the green question mark, and you'll get some answers as to what the field is that you're working with. I want to complete this by March 31st. Put it in there. And then do I want it to create the related meeting? Things get done so much better. Every project, every KPI improves better if you have a weekly meeting. So, yes, I am going to create a weekly meeting. And this is we're going to call it the DSP Services Weekly Check-in. Yes, we abbreviate things a lot. Okay, we don't have, this is a dummy or fake KPI here that we're doing. But I am going to add a keeper. I'm going to be the guide. We'll add everybody to the team. There, we're in pretty good shape. And we're going to hit submit. So it's going to go ahead and it's going to create this project. Now, you may remember that the project was supporting a KPI. So these are shown they have a hierarchy to them. So you're going to say, well, where is it? We made it supporting of this active user increase. So when I choose that KPI, then it shows up under there, DSP member services. And these are some backlogged idea ones, things along those lines. But there it is. All right. Now, I'm going to choose that one because that's the one I want to work on. And the next thing I'm going to do is simply go right through this success plan. I'm going to cover every tab from left to right in that order. The first thing is going to be the setup. Now, this is going to look almost exactly like what we just had, okay, what we just did in setting it up. But now I told it to create a meeting, you may remember. So, and forgive, everything's a little bit slower when you're doing a video. I'm going to go to the related meetings. And there's the meeting that we just created. So now it's related to the meeting as it should be. The other thing that can be changed or can be done or should be done really is for every person on here, you should list exactly what's expected from them. So it's very simple. You just need to tell people, and you can use a bulleted list and and you just put things in there, okay? And don't be sloppy about it, but you don't have to be super perfect every time, but people should know what it is you're expecting of them. And you do that with every person who is on the team. And that type of thing. And then what they can expect from others, just clarify them. And it works very well. Let's say cooperation, um, candid feedback, which everybody's expected to give. And then if it needs the supervisor's approval, you can put a note in there, or that you've got the supervisor's approval, whatever it may be. So now we're going to hit submit. It'll save those changes. And that's to the setup part. And actually, you can see in the this top part about the initiative, I have to refresh the page, which I'll take the time to do that right now, so that it updates. It'll show the related meeting in there then, whereas right now it's not showing that. There, see now, and if I click on that meeting, it'll open that meeting up. So back to the success plan. The next thing is, why are we doing this? And when you open this up, it's going to have a grid. You don't have to use the grid, but it works well in that you simply put in who it affects and why it's important to them. Now we'll save it. And when we go back here under why, now it's going to show those things here. Now our goals. This is interesting. So this is where we state what we want to do. And I want to, just for an example, and we use a 4-top goal system. We probably already discussed that, but I think the unit of measure is going to be the percent of members using the ASG services. And since this is something that's just in the works right now, we're going to say it's 0 is where we're starting. 0 is the current value. And yeah, that's crisis. Okay. Lots of things start out in crisis, I guess. When we get to 5%, we'll have to be at 5% just to be poor. We have to be at 15% to be what I would say good. And then excellent, we're going to say is 30%, and blue sky is going to be 55%. All right. And we can put down here some critical results, how we're going to measure it, things along those lines. I'm not going to, again, for the sake of time, but you can see what I did was I just set up my goals. Anything under 5 is going to be crisis. Anything between 5 and 15 is poor. 15 and 30 is good. 30 and 55 is excellent. Above 55 is blue sky. So now we save that. All right, so now if we go under goals, they're in there. Now the people one was done during setup. I can edit just the people section again, but this will work just fine. Resources, this is where we put in, maybe it's a budget, maybe it's particular rooms or things along those lines. In this case, we're going to use a budget to show up at their convention, and become a member, myself. And these can be, as I said, anything that applies. You just put in the resources you need so that you think about this ahead of time. That's the whole point of doing the success plan, is to think about these things ahead of time. And then we're going to get to alignment. And this is so important. This is where we just check to see, okay, now we know why we're doing it. Does it fit our focus plan? What we said we were, who we are, why we exist, those types of things. And all you do is you sit there with your team, and it's ideal to do this with the team, and you say, how is this idea, this initiative, how does it align with our purpose? And if you don't know your purpose, you click it and it'll come up. And then every person around the room says, They just go around and say, are they positive, neutral, very positive, neutral, negative, very negative? You got to make up your mind. And every person says it, and then the leader decides based on what they said why. And they should talk about this. If there's a conflict, talk it out. This is where team conflict is so good. When I say conflict, I mean that you passionately disagree. And then once you decide, everybody backs the decision. That is a high level of team alignment, and that's what it is. There's a blog article called "The Holy Grail of Team Alignment," or "Team Alignment: The Holy Grail of Business," that type of thing. And so, anyways, you do that with everyone. How does it match your core values? Well, here's our core values. How does that match this? The first one I think is very positive. The second one is very positive. This is just such a good thing. It matches our vision. I know that. Um, when we say what we do, it's pretty positive. This one's going to involve a little more actual one-on-one work because it's specialized, but that's okay. Our strategy, again, it's a little more one-on-one than what our normal strategy is, but it'll be worth it. All right. And is it on our focus? Yes, it is based on what we're focusing on now. And will it be financially positive? I believe it would be at least positive, probably very positive there. Now you'll notice it gives a total alignment score. So now that's not a Bible, all right? It's a score. If something's really low, okay, yes, you need to reconsider it. If something is lower than everything else, reconsider it. But that is the setup plan. The last one is just the meeting. It shows that you can click on it and you can run the meeting now. But that is how we do the setup plan or the success plan, and it works. It makes a big difference. Thank you.